Record level heavy rains across the nation triggered landslides and flooding throughout the weekend, forcing the evacuation of more than 1,500 people in the southern regions.
기록적인 폭우로 주말 동안 전국 곳곳에서 산사태와 홍수가 발생한 가운데 남부지방에서는 주민 1,500명 이상이 대피했습니다. Yeah, we got a lot of rain.
Yeah, the entire country did, in fact, over the weekend, late last week. And I believe it was the indirect effects of a typhoon lower in the Pacific Ocean that really battered China. But Korea got a lot of rain,
Yeah.
like you mentioned. In fact, the southern regions were hardest hit. They were inundated with torrential downpours, and it affected 1,500 people were displaced. Over 1,000 households as of yesterday morning, and they were temporarily forced to evacuate their homes in 7 cities and provinces, including Busan, North Gyeongsang Province, South Gyeongsang Province. I saw images of sinkholes in Busan, which were a major problem when you have heavy rain. The ground becomes very weak because of the moisture. And still, over 600 people are still displaced as of yesterday as well. But it's not just the displacement. You saw a lot of property damage with infrastructure, flooding of roads, as well as private facilities like homes and farmland were affected as well.
네, 이렇게 홍수가 발생한 남부지방 얘기를 해주셨는데요. 홍수는 flood인데 홍수가 발생했다라는 말을 할 때는 the southern regions experienced flooding 이렇게 표현을 할 수가 있고요. 그다음에는 한 1,500명 정도가 대피를 했다라는 뜻으로 about 1,500 people were displaced 이렇게 아까 설명을 해주셨는데 같은 얘기로 이제 헤드라인에서는 they evacuated 이렇게 말할 수도 있죠. 자, all of this was triggered by heavy rains, or you could say the heavy rains triggered these events.
Yeah, like flooding and landslides, because when something triggers something, it causes something to happen. Think of a gun and its trigger. When you pull the trigger, the ammunition or the bullet is launched and accelerated. So when something is triggered by something, it causes something to happen.
네, 트리거라는 것 자체는요, 권총에 있는 방아쇠를 말합니다. 그래서 방아쇠를 당기면은 무언가가 일어나겠죠. 뭐, 총이 이렇게 발사가 된다든지, 이 경우에는 폭우로 인한 여러 가지 피해가 촉발이 된다든지. 그래서 트리거라는 단어를 촉발시키다라는 뜻으로 비유적으로 많이 씁니다. The record level heavy rains triggered landslides. 그로 인해서 산사태가 발생했다. 이렇게 해석할 수도 있고요. And this forced a lot of people to evacuate.
Exactly. So a result of the weather phenomenon was that people were displaced, like we said. So if you're forced to do something, you're obligated to do something. You're compelled, or you're required in some instances as well. So they really didn't have a decision or a choice in the matter.
Exactly. Excuse me. That force someone to do something. 이 표현은 A로 하여금 무엇을 하게끔 강요하다라는 뜻인데요. 이 주어가 날씨예요. 그래서 날씨가 사람들로 하여금 이렇게 할 수밖에 없게 만들었다.
Yeah.
The heavy rains forced people to leave their homes, to evacuate.
Nobody likes to be forced to do anything.
No.
In most cases, imagine trying to force your children to eat their vegetables.
Eat your vegetables.
Right. They will not do it. They have that mentality, children, where if you tell them to do it,
Yeah.
they won't do it more.
Don't
Right?
force me to eat my vegetables.
Exactly.
먹으라고 시키지 마세요. 그래서 이제 시키다 의미로도 force someone to do something이라고 할 수 있는데 이 강요의 의미 내지는 할 수밖에 없다라는 그런 뉘앙스가 들어있어요. 그래서 맥락에 따라서 좀 다르게 해석을 하지만 여기서는 이 날씨로 인해서 이렇게 할 수밖에 없었다라는 의미가 되겠습니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Record level heavy rains across the nation triggered landslides and flooding throughout the weekend, forcing the evacuation of more than 1,500 people in the southern regions. Let's move on to the second headline.
Over 1 million units of children's products with subpar safety quality were sold in Korea last year, according to government data.
정부 자료에 따르면 품질이 안전 기준에 미달되는 어린이 제품이 지난해 100만 개 이상 시중에 유통된 것으로 나타났습니다. Oh dear.
Yeah, so according to the customs officials here in South Korea, over 1 million units, we're talking over 120 children's products, were subject to recall orders last year. Now, the more troubling thing is that only half of that amount was actually recalled, so which means the other half is still pretty much in circulation or
Yeah.
out on the market. And that's a 30% on-year increase compared to 2022. So there's been a big rise. A big reason for that, I'm imagining, is that the majority of these recall orders or these products originate from China. So it probably there's a direct correlation with the increase in online shopping,
Right.
especially with overseas platforms.
Yeah.
You get a lot of more
Been popping
affordable
up these days.
products. Yeah, exactly, from China. So I think as a parent, you want to be of utmost caution to see where you're buying your products, if they
Sure.
are licensed or accredited, or if they've passed tests. Because as with with children, they often tend to put toys in their mouth, and a lot of times I think either the product itself could be dangerous or it could contain materials like lead or other heavy metals that could be very harmful to kids.
Exactly. Heavy metals는 우리 중금속이라고 하죠. 말 그대로 중금속, heavy metals가 들어 있을 수도 있고 그 외에도 여러 가지 안전 기준에 미달되는 그런 이제 어린이 제품들이 100만 개 이상 있었다고 했는데요. 이 100만 개라고 할 때 units라는 단어가 쓰였습니다. 그러니까 하나하나를 셀 때는 unit라는 단위를 씁니다. 그렇지만 이제 종류로 봤을 때는 120가지였던 것 같아요. 종류는 그렇습니다만 하나하나의 개수를 다 셌을 땐 100만 개 이상이 되는 것이고 이제 리콜에 해당이 됐었어요. 리콜 그 지시가 내려졌는데 근데 실제로 리콜된 그런 어린이 제품은 반 정도밖에 되지 않았다라고 합니다. 자, 일단 그 유니트라는 단어부터 좀 더 살펴보고요. 다음 단어도 볼게요.
Right. So a unit would be a single quantity of
Yeah,
something. If you ever taken an economics class, when you talk theoretically, you talk about selling a product, you count them in units. So you have
Yes.
1 unit, 10 units, for example. So it's a component or a part in a measurement.
하나하나 물건을 세는 단위인데 특히 우리가 재고 이렇게를 카운팅 한다든지 이 경우에도 이제 어린이 제품 그 물건 하나하나의 개수는 unit라는 단위를 붙여서 영어식으로는 얘기를 하고요.
Right. It's very generic, right? Because we don't know if they're toys, we don't know if it's
Right.
clothing, it could be anything. So just all that combined.
Exactly. And they were subpar.
Yeah, so they were subpar, meaning they were below a usual or normal standard, because par means average or norm,
Yeah,
right? To be on par with something, you're on a common level or same level. If you're a golfer, you know that par means the average number of strokes to finish a hole, for example. So if you're subpar, you're beneath that or
Which
you're
is good.
below that.
In golf.
In golf, it's good.
In golf,
yes,
it's
but
good.
not in terms of children's
Yes.
toy or children's product qualities.
Exactly. 자, 두 가지로 나눠서 볼 수 있습니다. 이 단어는요, sub라는 아래에 있다라는 뜻의 접두가 있고, 그다음에 par라는 것은 평균이란 뜻이에요. 그래서 평균 미달, 평균보다 못 미치는 여기서 말하는 것은 이제 안전 기준에 미달됐다는 뜻이겠죠. 보통은 우리가 이제 subpar 그러면은 뭔가 좀 미달이구나 이 느낌이 있는데 예외적으로 골프에서는 우리가 언더파가 좋죠. 예, 적게 칠수록 좋은 거니까 그때도 이제 파라는 단어를 쓰거든요. 골프에서도 평균 타보다 낮게 쳤을 때 뭐죠? 10 under par 뭐
Yes.
그렇게 되나요? 20 under par까지는 아니더라도
And you can say it like that. You can say I shot a subpar round instead of under par, like you said, right? Or I shot under par. You could say that, but you can
제가
also say
골프를
it
잘
like that.
몰라서
Yeah.
서파가 더 많이 쓰이는 표현인가요?
I can speak all day about this. Subpar, you can use it like that. I shot a subpar round,
I shot a subpar round.
which is a good thing.
Yes.
Yes.
yes, 그렇죠. 네, 그 정도만 저도 알고 있는데 골프에서는 아무래도 적게 치면서 이 허울에다가 넣는 게 좋은 거니까.
But the prefix sub, like I said, it means under or
그렇죠.
below, right? So like submarine would be a vessel that is underwater, or subway is a passageway that's underground.
Exactly. 거기서 나온 표현들입니다. Subway, 우리 길 아래 있는 사철이잖아요. 그다음에 submarine 물 아래에 다니는 잠수함이죠. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 제가 헤드라인 읽어보겠습니다. Over 1 million units of children's products with subpar safety quality were sold in Korea last year, according to government data.
New York has been ranked as the most rodent-infested city in the U.S., followed by San Francisco and Los Angeles, according to a pest control company.
한 해충 방역 업체 조사 결과 뉴욕시가 미국에서 쥐가 제일 많은 도시로 집계됐으며 샌프란시스코와 로스앤젤레스가 그 뒤를 이었습니다. Now, in English, it says the most rodent-infested city, but we are
Yes.
talking about rats.
We're talking about
right?
rats,
Yeah.
and this is a big problem in New York. It's a
Yeah.
big, the New York City rats are major landmarks after
Yeah.
Times Square.
Famous for-
They're very famous. If you're curious, go online and search pizza rat in New York, and you'll
remember
be
that.
very amused. But this is a big problem. In fact, the mayor of New York City. Adams, there was over the weekend, this is a coincidence or not, but there was a big summit, the National Urban Rat Summit, it was called, where a bunch of academics and researchers all gathered to try and deal with this problem because it really is a problem.
That's how big the problem is.
In New York City.
Wow.
But if we go back to the headline here, this company, this pest control company, they studied all the number of dispatches for these services last year and found that New York was number one, followed by San Francisco and Los Angeles. And that's not really surprising because these are the most populous, one of the most populous cities in the country. Chicago used to be more rat infested, but
Yeah.
looks like 3 million rats live in New York City, according to an estimate
Wow.
last year. But this is a major problem because when people throw out the trash in New York City, they oftentimes just throw it out on the street where the sanitation workers will come and pick it up. But then they'll notice a rat crawling around. They're fearless.
Very quickly, I just searched the population of New York, which is 8 million.
Sure.
So 8 million people and 3 million rats.
Yeah. One rat per every 2.5 people,
Oh my
roughly.
goodness. Wow.
But, I will say on a personal note, too, I've seen an increase in rats in my neighborhood.
Oh. Okay.
And I never did before, but I've seen it more often, more frequently recently. But I've also seen a decrease in the number of street cats. So I
Yeah,
don't know if there's a correlation with
must
that.
be.
This
Yeah.
this is my own,
We need
kind
more
of
cats.
unscientific deduction. But but it is something that I may have to say something to our management office.
Yeah, exactly. 자, 뉴욕시에 쥐가 많다는 거는 뭐 너무나 잘 알려진 얘기죠. 심지어는 지금 셰인 선생님이 랜드마크다라고
Yeah.
농담을 할 정도로 뉴욕 하면은 쥐 이런 이미지가 있는데 실제로 집계를 해봤더니 뉴욕에서 가장 쥐가 많은 도시가 바로 뉴욕이라고 합니다. 제가 지금 찾아보니까 인구가 830만 명 정도 되는데 쥐가 300만 마리랍니다. 아이고. 그 다음으로 이제 샌프란시스코하고 로스앤젤레스가 집계가 됐었고 또 바로 지난 주말에 이 쥐를 어떻게 하면은 없앨 수 있을까? 그 효과적인 퇴치 방법에 대한 학술 회의가 있었을 정도로
Yeah.
에이,
The National
심각한-
Urban Rat Summit, it was called.
Rat Summit.
Yeah. And the mayor of New York has appointed a rat czar to tackle this
Okay.
problem specifically. A couple
Really?
of months ago, yeah.
보통 우리가 무슨 czar라고 하면은 그 뭔가를 없애기 위한 그런 통치자,
The head,
대표자라는 뜻. 원래는 러시아의 그 황제 이름이었겠지만
Yeah.
지금은 그런 의미는 아니고 뭐 뉴스에서 가끔 나오는 표현으로 border czar, rat czar 이렇게 얘기를 하는데요. 쥐를 없애기 위한 그런 직책이 되겠죠. 네, 그런 사람도 있다고 합니다. 자, rodent라는 단어로 rat 대신 할 수 있어요. 근데 rodent infested 그러면 무슨 뜻일까요?
Yeah, if something's infested with something, it's spread or there's a swarm of something, oftentimes in a very troublesome manner. If something's overwhelmed or
Yeah.
overrun with something, and it's usually negative.
Exactly. It's full of something.
Yeah.
바글바글대는 느낌이라고 보시면 돼요. 정말 많은데 좋지 않은 거죠. 막 우글거리고 바글대고 이 느낌.
Like your rice can be infested with maggots. Have you ever had that happen to you?
No.
No?
I hope it never does.
It does happen, especially in warmer, humid temperatures.
That could happen, indeed. 네. rodent는 이제 설치류예요.
Yeah.
그래서 그냥 쥐라고 보시면 되겠고, 그래서 infested는 그게 바글바글대는 우글거리는 도시 뉴욕이다. 그 표현이 나와 있고요. 그 다음에 이 데이터를 누가 제공했느냐? A pest control company.
Yeah, so it's a company that manages and tries to prevent an infestation of these pests.
Yeah, exactly. pest가 뭐 벌레라고 보통 이제 생각을 할 수 있는데 해충 같은 겁니다. 그래서
Or anything that's a nuisance.
Yes,
Like your
yeah.
little sister can be a pest
Yes, indeed.
sometimes.
맞아요. 원래는 그런 이제 벌레 같은 해충한테 쓰는 단어지만 사람도 나를 너무 성가시게 하고
Yeah.
귀찮게 하면 this person's a pest. 이렇게 nuisance랑 비슷한 느낌으로 쓸 수도 있어요. 그러나 이 뉴욕 쥐 관련된 이 자료는 Pest Control Company가 제공을 했다라고 해서 해충 방역 업체가 제공을 했다라고 해석을 하면 되겠죠? Here's the headline again. New York has been ranked as the most rodent-infested city in the US, followed by San Francisco and Los Angeles, according to a pest control company. Now let's move on to the next headline.
China is seeing a growing number of photographers offering divorce photography services for couples seeking to capture key moments of their separation.
중국에서는 이별의 중요한 순간을 담고자 하는 커플을 대상으로 한 이혼 사진 촬영 서비스가 성행하고 있다는 소식입니다.
Quite an amusing headline here.
Yes.
If you look at the data behind all this, official figures in China show that marriage rates are the lowest since records began in the mid-80s.
Wow.
So 13 million in 2013, in less than a decade, that's fallen to 7 million. Now, on the flip side, marriages are going down, but divorces are going up. In fact, fourfold. Divorces have increased fourfold from 1999 to 2019, 4.7 million. In fact, in 2019. So, in a lot of Asian nations as well, including South Korea, where divorces had this stigma
Yeah.
in society, where, family unity and stability is of great importance, but there's this shifting of societal norms. And we're seeing this in China as well. But this is quite amusing because, divorce celebration, do you really, in this day and age, do you really need to capture this on camera? But we're seeing photos like this pop up on Chinese social media.
실제로 사진사와 사진관들이 주변을 쭉 한번 살펴보니까 사회에 어떤 일들이 있나 그런 현상들을 살펴보다 보니까 이혼을 하는 사람들이 이렇게 늘고 있네. 그렇다면 이혼 사진 촬영 서비스를
Yeah.
개시해보면 어떨까? 이렇게 시작이 됐다고 해요. 근데 지금 굉장히 많아졌다고 하는 거죠. 이제 더 이상 뭐 이혼이 흉도 아니고 그러다 보니까 특히 젊은 사람들 이혼의 순간도 나는 기록을 하겠다, 기념하겠다 하면서
Right.
이렇게 사진 촬영을 한답니다.
I think it's more leaving evidence as opposed to commemoration,
It's
possibly.
not a,
but-
yeah, it's not a joyous event.
No,
but,
it's not.
yeah.
That's what's amusing about this because couples, they'll pose while they're signing their divorce papers or
Yes.
with their divorce certificate.
맞아요. 그래서 이 사진 촬영은 아무래도 전체적인 분위기가 그런 슬픈 분위기를 담아야 되는 것이기 때문에 그런 서류를 사인하는 장면이라든지 굉장히 이제 슬픈 표정을 하는 모습이라든지 이런 거를 사진에 담는다고 해요.
Yeah, but it reflects again what's happening in society because photographers, they also need clientele, and if marriages are going down, that means wedding photography is probably going down. So they've come up with this new idea.
그렇습니다. 자, 우리가 오늘 뭐 2부에서도 좀 살펴보겠지만 많은 그 변화가 사회적으로 일어나고 있어요. 그래서 중국에서도 예전에는 이제 그 신혼이 아니라 이제 예비 부부들을 위한 사진 촬영이 굉장히 큰 사업이었다면 이제 조금씩 이혼 사진 촬영 서비스가 커지고 있고
Yeah.
또 예전에 중국에서 유치원 사업이 또 굉장히 컸다면은 요즘에는 또 이제 실버 산업이
Yes.
커지고 있다는 내용도 잠시 후에 더 살펴보도록 하겠습니다.
Cliffhanger for part 2.
그렇습니다. Let's look at the term.
Okay.
photography services.
Yeah, so it would be simply any work or activity performed, such as taking, maybe even restoring or retouching photographs or portraits.
그렇죠. photography service는 사진 촬영 서비스가 되겠습니다. 그리고 우리 청취자분들이 뭐 그 이혼이 꼭 슬퍼야만 하나라는 얘기도 쓰셨는데요. 그렇지 않을 수 있죠. 그래서 정말 이렇게 원만하게 이혼을 하는 커플들 같은 경우에는 또 뭐 모르겠어요. 웃으면서 사진을 찍을지 그 내용은 제가 잘 모르겠지만 이런 서비스가 있다는 것 자체가
Yeah.
굉장히 흥미롭습니다. 자, they're capturing the key moments.
Yeah, key would be important or a major period in time for these couples. So a key moment is an important or major time period
Key moments. Key meaning very important.
or significant.
or significant. That's right. 매우 중요한 순간 그런 장면을 포착하는 서비스가 되겠죠. All right, here's the headline again. China is seeing a growing number of photographers offering divorce photography services for couples seeking to capture key moments of their separation. Let's move on to the final headline.
A gigantic king penguin chick named Pesto, who weighs as much as both his parents combined, has become a social media celebrity and a star attraction at an Australian aquarium.
부모를 합친 몸무게를 자랑하는 호주 한 수족관의 거대한 새끼 왕펭귄 페스토가 소셜미디어 유명 인사로 떠오르면서 수족관에서도 인기몰이를 하고 있습니다.
Yes. So in this day and age of social media, not just people, but animals are becoming celebrities now. So Pesto weighs 22 kilograms. Its parents weigh 11 kilograms each. So, and it's still a young chick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he or she is gigantic.
Yeah. But Pesto's already garnered 1.9 billion views from people around the world,
Really?
according to the aquarium. He eats more than his body weight in fish in this past week alone, 24 kilograms of fish. So maybe Pesto is still growing. But,
Yeah, sure.
this comes on the heels of just a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if on your social media feed, but there was this hippo in Thailand, a pygmy hippo named Mudeng,
Okay.
which caught netizens by storm. It's the cutest thing ever. And mudeng means bouncy pork in Thai because this hippo is very cute.
그렇군요. 태국의 한 하마가 또 최근에
Yes.
화제가 됐었다고. 네, 요즘은 이제 동물 유명 인사들이 많네요. 인사는 아니지만. 근데 지금 얘기하는 거는 펭귄이고요.
Yes.
킹펭귄입니다. 이제 원래부터가 킹펭귄인데 그 중에서도 거대한 정말 큰 이제 아기 펭귄이에요. 그래서 페스토라는 이름을 붙였고 호주에 있어요. 호주의 한 저기 동물원에 있는데 그 각각의 부모의 몸무게가 11kg이랍니다. 그런데 페스토는 아직도 애기인데 22kg이에요.
Right.
그리고 먹는 그 먹이의 양이 하루에 24kg어치의
Yeah.
먹이를 먹는다고 하니까 와 이러다 진짜 30kg, 40kg 되는 거 아닌가? 모르겠네요.
It's no surprise
Wow.
Pesto is gigantic.
Yes.
Right.
Let's look at that word.
Very large, colossal, gargantuan,
Like a giant.
Like giant, mammoth, all these words meaning very big.
Exactly. Gigantic. 거대하다. Social media celebrity is what Pesto has become.
Yep, just a celebrity on the internet. We refer to them as social media influencers these days, personality, anyone that's acquired or developed their fame, notably on the internet.
Exactly. 소셜 미디어는 우리가 한국에서 SNS라고 하는 거, 영어로는 소셜 미디어라고 하죠. 그다음에 celebrity가 연예인인데 그 소셜 미디어 상에 유명한 그런 뭐 인물이라든지 이 경우 이제 동물이 되겠네요. 자, 그러면 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. A gigantic king penguin chick named Pesto, who weighs as much as both his parents combined, has become a social media celebrity and a star attraction at an Australian aquarium. And that's it for today's headlines.
Korea's population is projected to shrink by 16 million to 36 million by 2072, with senior citizens aged 65 and older expected to comprise nearly half of the population, according to Statistics Korea.
통계청에 따르면 우리나라 인구가 2072년에는 1,600만 명이 감소한 3,600명이 될 것으로 보이며 이 중 65세 이상 노인 인구가 거의 절반을 차지할 것으로 전망됐습니다. You know, in Korea, we always say we're a land of 50 million.
Yes, or 52 billion to
Yes,
be precise.
to be precise. But it looks like that's going to shrink to 36 million?
Well, this is what's projected. So we're on track for that, but things could change. The world is a turbulent place, but
Yeah.
certainly Statistics Korea reporting that we're looking to go down to 36 million by 2072. That means that we'll be not the 29th most populous country in the world, we'll be 59th.
Right.
So we'll shrink down 30 rankings, and our growth rate is looking to decline from 0.07% to minus 1.31%.
Minus growth.
Yes. So on the other hand, when it comes to the world, with India being the biggest, the most populous country, there's going to be an increase. They're projecting 10.22 billion, up from 8.16 billion by 2072. That's a lot of people on this little planet.
Yep. So this is roughly 50 years from now.
Yes.
2072년이면은 이럴 것이다라는 전망이 나왔습니다. 우리나라 인구가 현재는 5,200만 명인데요. 3,600만 명으로 굉장히 많이 줄 것이다. 근데 그중에 거의 절반인 48%가 65세 이상 노인 인구가 될 것이다라는 전망이 나왔고요. 그렇게 되면은 경제 성장도 지금보다 많이 안 할 것으로 우리가 좀 내다볼 수 있을 텐데 growth rate라고 하는 경제 성장률이 마이너스 0.31%라고 하셨나요?
1.31%.
네.
That's what it's going to be in 2072.
그래요. 마이너스 성장을 기록할 것이다라는 좀 무서운 그런 전망이 나왔습니다. 아무래도 인도 같은 나라는 점점 더 인구가 많아질 것으로 예상이 된다는 거죠? Is it going to continue to grow?
Yes, that's what they're looking at. We'll have to see, though, because these things change. There's always a flux in the growth rate of different populations. So we may see Korea's birth rate increasing again.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to wait and see.
It's just a projection. So we
Yes.
can use the word forecast or projection. What's another word you could use?
We can say we're on track
Okay.
to be something,
On track.
meaning that seems to be the way we're going.
Yeah,
Or on
exactly.
course.
Or we could say forecast as well.
Yes.
Yeah. But we wouldn't say prediction, would we? Or could we?
Well, you could say that Korea is predicted to shrink too, but we're more likely to use the word projected or forecasted because that sounds more scientific or technical.
Yes. When you hear the word prediction, I think for me, I think of fate and your destiny, you know.
Oh, Sue, I see a tall, dark stranger in your future.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Ray.
Right. Let's have a look at the first word here, and it's to shrink.
Meaning to get smaller. I remember when I was a kid, there was the very popular Hollywood film, Honey, I've Shrunk the Kids, meaning I've made them the size of ants. It's the opposite of grow. It just means to get smaller and smaller.
네, shrink라는 동사는요, 확 사이즈가 줄어들다라는 뜻입니다. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids가 우리말로는 뭔지 지금 찾아봐야 되겠는데 영어에서 그 영화 내용이 제목에 다 함축이 되어 있어요. 왜냐하면은 특수한 기기로 인해서 아이들의 사이즈가 실제로 이렇게 미니 사이즈로 줄어들었거든요. 그런 약간 사이파이 영화라고 해야 되나?
Yeah, it's a family sci-fi comedy. And it's one of those verbs when you're conjugating different tenses. Shrink, shrank, shrunk, like
Yes.
swim, swam, swum.
그렇습니다. 자, 여기서는 인구가 많이 줄어들 것이다. The population will shrink라고 얘기를 했고요. 그 다음에는 그 중에 거의 절반이 65세 이상일 것이다. So around half will comprise of the elderly.
Yes, and if something is comprised of something, it's made up of that. It consists of that. So that thing is within them. Here, elderly people make up half of the population in 2072. Be careful you don't confuse it with compromise, which is very different.
Absolutely. Compromise 그러면은 뭔가 절충을 한다라는 의미가 될 텐데 comprise는 구성하다라는 뜻입니다. 그래서 전체 인구의 한 반 정도가 65세 이상으로 구성이 될 것이다. 라는 뜻이죠. 자, 다시 읽어보겠습니다. Korea's population is projected to shrink by 16 million to 36 million by 2072. with senior citizens aged 65 and older expected to comprise nearly half of the population, according to Statistics Korea. And the title of that movie in Korean was 애들이 줄었어요. 지금 찾아보니까 그거네요. 영어로는 Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh,
여보, 내가 애들을 줄였어. 요거였습니다. 자, 그러면 우리 두 번째 헤드라인 가볼게요.
The government has officially opened Korea's longest walking trail, stretching 4,500 kilometers and encircling the country's coastlines, even extending into border areas within the demilitarized zone. I have
It's
to apologize.
a tough one, isn't it?
Twice I've got that wrong today.
You can just say DMZ or DMZ.
Yes, demilitarized zone.
이게 발음이 쉽지가 않아요, 여러분.
여러분 죄송합니다.
괜찮습니다.
똑바로 하겠습니다.
네, 그냥 우리가 흔히 영어 약자로 DMZ라고 하는 게 이게 Demilitarized Zone입니다. 자, 제가 우리말로도 한번 읽어볼게요. 정부가 4,500km에 달하는 국내 최장 길이의 걷기 여행길 코리아 둘레길의 공식 개통을 알렸습니다. 이 길은 우리나라 해안선을 따라 조성됐으며 비무장지대 내 접경 지역에까지 이어진 것으로 알려졌습니다. 비무장지대가 바로 이 Demilitarized Zone이 되겠죠.
네.
Tell us more.
I don't know about you, Sue, but when I first heard about the Olle Trail on Jeju Island, I was so excited. The fact that you could walk around the whole island, get these beautiful views.
Sure.
I could not imagine that we'd be able to do the same thing with Korea, with the whole of the peninsula.
Across the whole country.
Yeah, this is incredible. They started in 2009. It's taken quite a long time. One of the reasons being is it goes through areas next to or bordering the DMZ.
North Korea.
Yes, and so we have the final section of the trail. The DMZ Peace Trail was recently completed, and that means the whole kit and caboodle is open for everyone.
그래요. 자, 조성하는데 시간이 걸렸지만 드디어 이렇게 개통이 됐다라는 반가운 소식입니다. 저도 언제 한번 기회가 되면은 쭉 돌아보고 싶어요.
me
얼마나
too.
걸릴까요?
It's going to take you a few weeks, I think, Sue.
Yeah, exactly. 자, 그러면은 이렇게 쭉 돌아가는 길이다 라는 뜻으로 encircle 보겠습니다.
Yes, if something encircles something else, it makes a circle around it. It surrounds it. So if you think about when you play a game and someone's in the middle and there's a circle of children around them, the children encircle the other child.
자, circle이 원이잖아요. 근데 encircle이라는 동사를 쓰면은 이렇게 원형으로 둥글게 돌다, 에워싸다라는 뜻이 됩니다. 그래서 하나의 명사를 동사로 만드는 en, 요 마법 같은
네.
두 알파벳이에요. encircle. So this route, this path encircles Korea.
It does, because it goes around all the country's coastlines.
아하. 자, 그다음에 border areas.
Yes, a border area is an area next to another country because a border is the land between one country and another. Korea has one land border and then has several sea borders. And the land border is with North Korea, the DMZ.
border area는 접경 지역이죠. 자, 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. The government has officially opened Korea's longest walking trail, stretching 4,500 kilometers and encircling the country's coastlines, even extending into border areas within the demilitarized zone.
Anura Kumara Dissanayake has been elected as Sri Lanka's new president after winning the debt-ridden country's first election since its economy collapsed in 2022.
국가 부도 2년여 만에 처음 실시된 스리랑카 대선에서 아누라 쿠마라 디사나야케 후보가 차기 대통령으로 선출됐습니다. All right, so let's talk about Sri Lanka's new president.
Yeah, this is a big deal. Dissanayake is also known as AKD. He's 55 years old, and he's sort of upset things. He's come in and he basically said, look, I'm going to disrupt things. I'm going to disrupt the status quo.
Yep.
I'm going to make things better. And analysts are saying that him winning is basically Sri Lanka rejecting corruption and rejecting cronyism and hoping for a new start. But he has said democracy doesn't end with appointing a leader. So perhaps he's looking at it a bit more realistically as to what he has to do. The Prime Minister of Sri Lanka has already resigned before he was sworn in, which means there's going to be a dissolution of parliament, which means Sri Lanka will start afresh. A new page, a new leaf, and hopefully overcome the troubles they've been through.
Oh, troubles is an understatement.
Yes.
They've had a lot of financial troubles. In fact, the country has been debt-ridden.
Oh my goodness. If something is something ridden, there's a lot of it. And it's not a nice thing. The one I remember reading about medieval times in Britain was flea-ridden. Flea-ridden beds, fleas everywhere. So whenever you hear like debt-ridden or flea-ridden or whatever it is that's ridden, there's lots of it and it's not good. In this case, there's lots and lots and lots of debt.
Flea-ridden은요. 지금 식사하시는 분들은 듣지 마시고
죄송합니다. 앞으로 똑바로 하겠습니다.
벼룩이 득실된다 이런 뜻입니다. 그래서 something ridden, R-I-D-D-E-N이라고 하면은 무언가가 정말 바글바글대고 득실되고 많다라는 뜻인데요. 앞에 debt, D-E-B-T, 빚이라는 단어가 붙었어요. 그러니까 정말 빚이 많아서 허덕이는 그런 나라다. 이렇게 해석이 되네요. Debt-ridden Sri Lanka. 그런데 이제 다시 일어설 수 있는 그런 이제 기대감들이 사람들이 생긴 것 같아요. 새로운 대통령을 선출하면서. In 2022, the country pretty much collapsed.
Yes, economically. So if something collapses or someone collapses, well, they fall down. Think of it like a person fainting, collapsing to the floor, or a building when it's being demolished, collapsing to the ground. And if an economy collapses, it means it's ruined. It's a disaster. There's a lot of serious damage.
네. 와르르 붕괴되거나 무너지는 것을 collapsing 한다라고 하는데요. 여기서는 뭐라고 하고 있냐면은 the country collapsed in 2022. 2022년도에 경제적으로 무너졌던 그러니까 경제적인 어려움을 크게 겪었던 그 나라입니다. 국가 부도 겪은 얘기를 하고 있고요. And that's when, of course, the president of the country was also ousted.
Yes.
Let's have a look at this headline again. 제가 다시 읽어보겠습니다. Anura Kumara Dissanayake has been elected as Sri Lanka's new president after winning the debt-ridden country's first election since the country, or the economy, collapsed in 2022. Moving on, this is our next headline.
In China, a viral story of a postgraduate student's pivot from physics to school janitor has highlighted the country's anxieties about youth unemployment.
중국에서 학교 청소부로 취직한 물리학도 대학원생의 이야기가 온라인상에서 화제가 되면서 청년 실업에 대한 중국의 불안감이 이를 통해 부각되고 있습니다. Tell us more.
A bit of an unexpected pivot,
Yeah.
change of direction for this young student, postgraduate student, to become a janitor, give up dreams of science. But it seems like there's a serious problem with youth unemployment in China. When we look at ages 16 to 24, for those who aren't in school, the jobless rate rose by 18.8% last month. It's been rising and rising and rising, and it's been also rising in all age categories. The issue is to do with hiring policies being too restrictive and also with the economy not being in a very good state. And that means college graduates aren't getting hired as much as they used to.
Yeah.
So China's looking to be in a bit of a pickle at the moment when it comes to employment, but also when it comes to the economy.
Well, the job market is shrinking
Yes.
in China. And that's why, students with degrees, even master's students, they're having to really scale back their dreams and ambitions. And we have this student here who's a postgraduate student, and he's been forced to take up a janitor position for now. Of course, he may get another job later on, but this has shocked a lot of people.
It has, and I think this is going to be an issue around the world. After the pandemic, we've seen economy shrinking and all sorts of problems like inflation rising. Certainly, China's not the only one.
네. 자, 그러면은 pivot라는 단어를 보겠습니다.
Sue, when you were studying in the UK, did you ever play netball?
I was on the school netball team.
Yes, then you should be familiar with the word pivot.
Very much so.
If you play netball or basketball or any of those competitive ball sports on a court, when you get the ball, people will try to get the ball from you and block you from passing the ball to someone else. So what you do is you pivot, meaning you change your direction. You step one way or step the other. And it's the same thing in life. We can pivot to a new career. We can pivot to a new hobby. We can pivot to a new idea.
Yeah, but when you pivot in netball, you have to have one foot on the floor.
All right.
You cannot move that one foot.
Yeah.
And then you spin your body around.
I only said 1 foot. I didn't say 2 feet. Okay, Sue?
Okay,
I am
okay.
familiar with the rules of netball.
I don't think you can turn your body if you have 2 feet on the ground. Because then, it's...
So you move 1 foot. I said
Yes.
you move 1 foot.
Did you? Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. You're right.
죄송합니다, 여러분. 저는 앞으로 똑바로 하겠습니다.
제가 똑바로 안 들었네요. 네, pivot, P-I-V-O-T라는 것이 이렇게 회전을 한다라는 뜻이 있는데 스포츠에서 많이 쓰고요. 농구나 넷볼 같은 경기에서도 발 하나는 바닥에 그냥 고정되게 둔 상태에서 몸을 휙 돌리는 거죠. 이걸 pivoting이라고 하는데 비유적으로 썼을 때도 역시 무언가 바뀐다는 의미로 물리학을 전공하던 대학원생인데 갑자기 청소부로 완전히 전향을 해버린 그런 사연이 화제가 되고 있다고 해요. 근데 그만큼 일자리 구하기가 힘들어서 그렇다. 이런 얘기가 되겠습니다. 자, pivot, 회전하다, 변하다. 뭔가 바꾼다는 의미가 되겠고 anxiety는요?
Oh, it's a worry. Or worries. It's when you're feeling uncomfortable and nervous about something. You may have one anxiety or you may have many anxieties, or we talk about the condition itself being anxiety. In any case, you're feeling nervous, worried, scared, uncomfortable, discombobulated. You're not feeling right.
맞아요. 지금은 영화관에선 개봉을 지금은 다 끝났지만 인사이드 아웃라는 영화 있잖아요.
네.
제가 굉장히 좋아하는데 거기 여러 가지 감정들이 각각의 캐릭터예요. 못 보신 분들을 위해서 좀 설명을 드리자면 그래서 joy, 기쁨이 또 있고 그다음에 anger, 분노 이런 친구도 있고 그다음에 얘가 있습니다. 불안이, anxiety. 불안이는 항상 불안해요. 어떡하지? 다칠 것 같은데 어떡하지? 독이 들어있으면 이런 불안이 너무 귀여운데 그거예요. anxiety는 불안감이라는 뜻입니다. 그래서 그걸 느끼면은 I feel anxious 이렇게 표현을 할 수 있겠고 In China, there's a lot of anxiety about youth unemployment.
Yes, and there's a lot of anxiety about the economy.
Exactly. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. In China, a viral story of a postgraduate student's pivot from physics to school janitor has highlighted the country's anxieties about youth unemployment.
Sue, would you like to pivot to a different headline now?
Let's do that.
A newly discovered asteroid will temporarily be captured by Earth's gravity and orbit our planet from September 29th to November 25th, according to astronomers.
새로 발견된 소행성 하나가 9월 29일부터 11월 25일까지 일시적으로 지구의 중력장 안에 들어와 궤도를 돌 것이라는 천문학자들의 발표가 나왔습니다. Okay, tell us about this mini moon.
Okay, just to clarify, we're not in danger.
Okay.
This is not an Armageddon deep impact situation.
No.
It's not going to crash into Earth, but it is going to come into our orbit. And it's called 2024 PT5. Not the cutest name for a mini moon, but there we go. It's very small. They think it's probably about 11 meters in diameter. However, they need to confirm that. It could be as big as 42 meters. It could be as small as 5, but they think it's around 11. And it's going to orbit. And it's probably not going to crash now or for the next few decades. So nothing to worry about. It's all going to be fine.
네, 일시적으로 하늘에 보이는 작은 달, 미니 달이라고 생각하시면 될 것 같아요. 물론 워낙 작아서 이게 육안으로 보일지는 모르겠지만 그래도 9월 29일부터 11월 25일까지 지구에서 어느 정도 볼 수 있는 그런 작은 달이 있을 거라고 합니다. 일시적인 것이기 때문에 영어로는 it's temporary라고 할 수 있는데요. It will temporarily appear above Earth.
Yes, if something does something or is something temporarily, means it's not there permanently. It's only there for a period of time. And that's not determined. It could be a long period of time, but usually it's a short period of time.
네, 부사입니다. temporarily. 자, 그 다음에는 orbit.
The orbit is, when one smaller object rotates around a larger object because it's captured in its gravity. We have the moon orbiting around Earth. We have the Earth orbiting around the sun, as do all the planets in the solar system.
그렇죠. orbit라는 동사는 궤도를 돌다라는 뜻이 되겠고요. 다시 한번 제가 헤드라인을 읽어보겠습니다. A newly discovered asteroid will temporarily be captured by Earth's gravity and orbit our planet from September 29th to November 25th, according to astronomers.
Retail sales in Korea increased by 9.2% year-on-year in August, driven by more foot traffic to offline stores amid this year's record-breaking heat.
올해 기록적인 폭염의 영향으로 오프라인 매장을 찾는 소비자가 많아지면서 8월 국내 유통업체 매출액이 지난해 같은 달보다 9.2% 증가한 것으로 나타났습니다. Is it because it's well air-conditioned?
Probably a lot cooler than maybe at home, or if you want to save a little energy, you could go to the mall or the
Yeah.
department store, spend a little time there. But yes, it seems like I guess people were spending more money while they were out and about. Maybe it's good for the economy, but they say that the combined sales of 23 major offline and online retailers reached 15.2 trillion won, which is approximately 11.3 billion US dollars last month. And that's compared with 13.9 trillion won from a year earlier. And this increase comes as more people visited these offline stores, as it was very hard. We saw record-breaking heat this summer, and offline stores sales surged 5% on year in August as the number of days with peak temperatures reaching 33 degrees Celsius increased to 21, and that was up 10 from the previous year,
Yeah.
which of course encouraged more shoppers to maybe leave home because it's hot and visit these department stores and supermarkets in efforts to avoid the heat. And also another factor that contributed to this was the Chuseok holidays, which fell a week earlier in September compared with the previous year. They also say convenience store sales also gained 4.5%. This makes sense because convenience stores are closer, so people might not want to walk, longer to go to a bigger store. And they also said that people purchased more ice cream and beverages among the heat wave.
그래요. 이제 8월 기준입니다. 작년 8월에 비해서 올 8월에 전반적인 유통업체 매출 퍼센티지가 매출량이 늘었습니다. 그래가지고 그 퍼센티지로 봤을 때는 작년에 비해서 한 10% 가까이 올랐다라고 했는데요. 그 마트, 백화점, 편의점 등등을 작년보다 더 많이 갔다라고 설명을 지금 해주셨어요. So when we say there was a lot of foot traffic, what are we talking about?
Foot traffic is literally, we are talking about your feet. So if there are more people visiting a certain place, we would say that there is more foot traffic or higher foot traffic. So it refers to, it's a term that I guess businesses use to describe the number of customers that enter a store. It could be a mall or a certain location.
Foot traffic, 발교통, 이 두 단어를 조합하면은 유동 인구의 규모라는 뜻이 되겠습니다. 사람들이 얼마나 많이 왔느냐라는 뜻인데요. There was a lot of foot traffic. So offline sales rose quite a bit in the month of August. Offline stores, let's look at that expression.
Right. So offline, these days we shop offline or online.
Yep.
And when we refer to offline stores, we're talking about a physical retail store that operates in the traditional brick and mortar setting where you can actually go visit the store in person to make your purchase.
Exactly. 스토어가 매장이고요. 오프라인 스토어니까 오프라인 매장인데 convenience store 그러면 편의점이 되겠고요. department store 그럼 백화점이 되겠죠. 그래서 shop라는 말도 있지만 shop는 좀 더 가게에 가까운 것 같고요. store라는 말이 이런 매장이라는 의미로 두루두루 많이 씁니다. 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Retail sales in Korea increased by 9.2% year on year in August, driven by more foot traffic to offline stores amid this year's record-breaking heat. Here's our next headline.
The Korea Forest Service has announced that this year's autumn foliage is expected to peak later than usual due to the prolonged heat waves that hit the peninsula this summer.
산림청은 올여름 한반도를 강타한 폭염이 장기화된 여파로 가을 단풍도 예년보다 늦게 절정을 이룰 것으로 예상된다고 밝혔습니다. Alright, so tell us more.
Yeah, so we have some dates. A lot of people go visit Seorak Mountain
Yep.
to go see the beautiful autumn leaves that change color. And they say that Seorak Mountain is expected to reach its peak foliage from October 22nd to 23rd. So it's about a month away. And the Korea Forest Service gave some other dates like the Korea National Arboretum from October 25th to 30th, Chumang Mountain from October 16th to 24th. Jirisan Mountain is another popular spot. They say that the leaves will start to change color or will not start to change, but will have reached its peak in the beautiful red and orange and yellows from October 21st to 25th, and down south on Jeju Island, Halla Mountain from October 26th to November 6th. And this is a little bit later than usual, as we mentioned, because it's been very, very hot, and the average temperature from June to August rose about 1.3 degrees Celsius compared to the recorded average in the past 10 years. So they're saying that it's coming about 5 days later than the average recorded during the past 2 years. And the Korea Forest Service, they do this every year. They publish this map because a lot of people love to go hiking and to go see the beautiful autumn leaves. So they publish this map based on the seasonal data that's observed at 112 different locations across the country.
네. 지금 간략하게 몇 군데의 단풍이 언제 절정을 이룰지 설명을 해주셨는데 좀 더 구체적으로 다시 확인하고 싶으신 분들을 위해서 어디를 가면은 찾을 수 있는지 알려드릴게요. 산림청에서 이 단풍 예측 지도를 제공하고 있거든요. 그래서 이거를 검색하시면 됩니다. 2024 산림 단풍 예측 지도 이렇게 검색을 하시면은 예쁘게 이렇게 한반도와 더불어서 며칠쯤에 단풍이 절정을 이룰지 전국적으로 다 날짜가 나와 있으니까 이거 참고하시면 될 것 같습니다. 작년보다는 조금 늦은 10월 말경에 주로 이제 절정을 이루는 것 같아요. And of course, Koreans love to go and
Yep.
see the autumn foliage.
Yep.
So make sure you mark your calendars and know when to go to experience the best of it.
Yep.
What is autumn foliage, by the way?
Right. So autumn is another word for fall, the fall season, and foliage just refers to leaves or plant leaves collectively. So we usually use the word autumn foliage when we're talking about the leaves that have changed color in season for fall.
이게 바로 가을 단풍입니다. Autumn foliage라고 해요. 그래서 F-O-L-I-A-G-E 이렇게 쓰고요. 물론 이제 단풍잎 하면은 autumn leaves이지만 가을 단풍이라는 표현을 영어로는 autumn foliage라고 하고, 그다음에 이제 우리가 그 단풍 보러 가는 단풍 놀이라는 말을 우리말에서는 하는데
Yeah.
영어에서는 사실 똑 떨어지는 표현은 없는 것 같아요. 제가 작년인가 그 미국 기사 하나 보니까 뭐 비슷한 표현이 하나 있었어요. 그때 뭐 그 autumn leaf peeping인가? 그래서 이제 그냥 살짝 본다라는
Yeah.
그런 표현이 있었던 것 같은데 그것도 이제 널리 쓰이는 표현은 아니고 기사 속에서 좀 만든 것 같습니다. 좀 어느 지역에 가면은 예를 들어서 워싱턴 D.C. 같은 데 가면 굉장히 예쁘대요. 거기도. 뭐 잘 아실 것 같은데.
The DC area is similar to I think Korea because they have during the spring there's the cherry blossoms and then during the fall you see the beautiful autumn foliage.
근데 문화적으로 그 단풍을 보러 외출을 하자 하는 게 잘 없는 것 같아요. 외국에서는. 그냥 있으면은 보는 거죠.
admire it.
예,
Yeah,
그렇지만 그거를 목적으로 어디를 이렇게 나들이를 간다든지 하는 그 문화 자체가 좀 다른 것 같아서 그 표현이 똑 떨어지는 건 없지만 설명을 할 수는 있습니다. I'm gonna go to 강원도 next month to have a look at the autumn leaves, the autumn foliage, and I'm gonna take some pictures. Maybe post it up on social media.
Yeah.
이런 식으로.
But I have to say, I was just at Seorak Mountain
Oh, really?
for Chuseok, and it's beautiful all
Already?
season, all the time, all the time. It was
right.
raining and it was beautiful.
Yeah,
and I
that's
saw
true.
so many people just wearing, the ponchos with an umbrella, climbing up to enter Seoraksan Mountain.
Ah, well, you can go now then.
Yeah.
Yeah. 자, autumn foliage, 가을 단풍 봤고요. prolonged heat waves에서 prolonged 보겠습니다.
Right. When something is prolonged, it means it's continued for a very long time or longer than usual.
그래요. 이 prolonged에서 long이라는 단어가 들리시죠? 오래 지속된다라는 뜻입니다. 이번에 오래 지속된 폭염 때문에 가을 단풍도 조금 더 늦게 절정을 이룬다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. The Korea Forest Service has announced that this year's autumn foliage is expected to peak later than usual due to the prolonged heat waves that hit the peninsula this summer.
The Israeli military has reportedly attacked Hezbollah targets in Lebanon with hundreds of airstrikes, killing nearly 500 people.
이스라엘 군이 레바논에 있는 헤즈볼라 목표물을 수백 차례 공습해 500명 가까운 사망자가 나온 것으로 알려졌습니다. Okay, and this is a developing story. We do have a bit of an update, don't we?
Yeah, so it seems that the death toll has gone up, and they say that the death toll from a massive Israeli bombing campaign has climbed to nearly 560 people. So we got a statement from the Israeli military saying that in the past 24 hours, 650 Israeli airstrikes hit more than 1,100 Hezbollah facilities in southern and eastern Lebanon. According to Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant on Monday, the Israeli Defense Forces have destroyed tens of thousands of Hezbollah rockets. Lebanon's health ministry said that the Israeli strikes killed nearly 492 people, including 35 children, and wounded about 1,600 people in southern Lebanon and in the Bekaa Valley in eastern Lebanon. And Lebanese authorities, according to Lebanese authorities, which have been cited by an Associated Press report, Monday was the deadliest attack in the country since the 2006 war between Israel and Hezbollah.
2006년도에 이스라엘 헤즈볼라 전쟁이 있었죠. 근데 그때 이후로 지금 최악의 사망자 수를 기록하고 있습니다. 계속해서 지금 그 업데이트가 나오고 있는 스토리예요. 영어로는 This is a developing story라고 합니다. 그러니까 다 끝난 게 아니라 계속 업데이트가 나오고 있다라는 뜻인데 지금 현재 사망자가 500명이 넘어선 것으로 이렇게 또 업데이트가 되고 있습니다. Reportedly is an expression we use a lot in the news.
Yes, reportedly. So you use this to say something that you're pretty sure of, but not completely sure. So it reportedly means according to what some say, and it's used to express your belief or the speaker's belief that the information given it's not necessarily true, but could be true.
특히 뉴스 같은 경우에는요, 직접 내가 취재한 뉴스면은 이렇다 이렇게 말하면 돼요. 그렇지만 내가 가서 취재한 게 아니라 다른 보도를 내가 인용하는 것이다 라고 할 때 이렇다고 합니다 라는 의미의 reportedly예요. 그래서 이게 전하는 바에 따르면 이렇게 전해지고 있다, 이렇게 보도되고 있다 라는 뜻으로 reportedly가 여기서는 The Israeli military has reportedly attacked Hezbollah라고 했습니다. 그래서 이스라엘이 헤즈볼라 목표물을 공습했습니다. 내가 그렇게 단정해서 말하는 게 아니라 이런 보도가 있습니다 라는 얘기를 한다는 거. 뉴스에서는 그게 또 굉장히 중요하거든요.
Yeah.
내가 직접 전하는 팩트인지 누가 이렇게 말했다라는 걸 전하는 팩트인지.
Right. So when you see reportedly, it's nice to, or it's good to find out what the source is. Who said this and
Or
that.
who did this.
Yeah.
Exactly. What's an airstrike?
An airstrike is an attack that has been made by an aircraft.
네. 공습이 되겠습니다. airstrike. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. The Israeli military has reportedly attacked Hezbollah targets in Lebanon with hundreds of airstrikes, killing nearly 500 people. Well, moving on, this is our next headline.
The U.S. state of California and several environmental groups have sued ExxonMobil and accused the oil giant of engaging in a decades-long campaign that helped fuel global plastic waste pollution.
미국 캘리포니아주와 여러 환경단체들이 수십 년간 거짓 광고로 플라스틱 쓰레기 오염을 조장했다며 석유회사 엑손모빌을 고소했습니다. Tell us more.
Right. So California's Attorney General is suing ExxonMobil, saying that the oil giant engaged in a decades-long campaign of deception about the effectiveness of plastics recycling. So this is a civil lawsuit that was filed on Monday local time by Attorney General Rob Bonta, who accused Exxon of contributing to a deluge of plastic pollution while telling people that live in California that recycling was a fix. They said that for decades, ExxonMobil has been deceiving the public to conceive us that plastic recycling could solve the plastic waste and pollution crisis when they clearly knew this wasn't possible. This isn't the first time that Bonta's office has sued, or sued a gas company trying to hold them responsible, or gas or oil company trying to hold them responsible for these claims about plastic recycling. And last year, they sued ExxonMobil as well as 4 other oil giants for compensation over climate change damages as well. And on the other hand, ExxonMobil is saying in a statement they blamed California for its inefficient recycling program, saying that Californian officials have already known that their recycling system isn't effective and they failed to act.
이렇게 쉽게 끝날 법정 싸움은 아닌 것 같네요. 지금
Yeah.
들어보니까. 일단 캘리포니아 주의 법무장관인 본타 법무장관이 엑손 모빌을 대상으로 뭐라고 지금 얘기를 하고 있냐면은 그동안 플라스틱은 재활용이 가능하다는 거짓 광고를 해왔다. 그래서 사람들에게 플라스틱을 사도 괜찮아. 왜냐면 다 분리수거가 되니까. 라는 그런 믿음을 잘못 심어줬다. 라고 하면서 고소를 한 거고요. 엑손모빌 측은 무슨 말이냐. 캘리포니아가 이미 이게 플라스틱이 분리수거 잘 안 되는 것 잘 알고 있었을 텐데 우리는 뭐 특별히 거짓 광고한 것은 아니다. 이런 입장인 것 같아요. 자, engage in a campaign.
Right. When you're engaging in something, it means to take part in or to do something.
engage in something은 무언가에 참여하다라는 뜻입니다. 근데 여기서는 engaging in a decades-long campaign이라고 해서 수십 년간 어떤 캠페인을 펼쳤다. 이런 의미가 되겠고요. 특히 엑손모빌 같은 경우에는 플라스틱에 쓰이는 그 재료를 굉장히 많이 생산하는 기업입니다. 그러니까 엑손모빌에서 그동안에 수십 년간 이런 플라스틱의 재료를 만들면서 플라스틱 재활용 돼요.
Yeah.
괜찮습니다. 이렇게 광고를 한 것이 사람들로 하여금 안심하고 사게끔 했다는 거죠. 그런데 결국은 이게 제대로 재활용이 안 됐기 때문에 환경오염의 주범이 됐다. 이런 논리네요.
Yeah. I think there's truth in both sides,
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
because I do think that, they should look at other countries and see how recycling is done.
자, 그 다음에 나오는 동사인데 fueling something이라는 표현입니다.
Right. So fuel, in this case, it's kind of used to say that it's made something worse.
Yeah.
It's caused like a conflict or a difficult situation to worsen or to intensify.
fuel이 원래는 연료거든요. 그래서 동사로 썼을 때는 기름을 붓다, 부채질하다 라는 뜻으로 쓰입니다. 자, 그럼 다시 읽어볼게요. The U.S. state of California and several environmental groups have sued ExxonMobil and accused the oil giant of engaging in a decades-long campaign that helped fuel global plastic waste pollution. Here's our final headline.
A Russian cosmonaut has set a new world record for the longest cumulative time any person has spent in space, passing the 3-year mark with a total of 1,111 days across 5 trips.
우주를 5번 방문해 총 1111일을 보내며 누적기간 3년을 돌파한 러시아 우주비행사가 우주 체류기간 누적 최고 기록을 세웠습니다. Tell us more about this
Right.
astronaut.
So this astronaut, his name is Oleg Kononenko, and he is 60 years old. And he was one of the people who came down on a Russian space capsule, which included 2 Russians and 1 American that landed on Monday in Kazakhstan. And that was after it undocked from the International Space Station. And the other, I mentioned that there were 2 Russians. So the other Russian that was on board, his name is Nikolai Chubb, and he also set a record as the person who stayed on the ISS for the longest continuous time at 374 days. And as we mentioned, Kononenko, he set the world record for the longest cumulative time any person has spent in space with 1,111 days across 5 different trips. And of course, there was one more person that was on board. His name was Tracy Dyson, and he was on the space station for 6 months.
네. 지금 뭐 굉장히 많은 우주 비행사 얘기를 해주셨는데요. 그 중에서 가장 오랫동안 우주에서 체류했던 사람이 올레그 코노넨코라고 하는 러시아인이라고 합니다. 러시아 그 연방 우주공사 소속의 우주인이래요. 근데 제가 astronaut라고 아까 했는데 헤드라인에는 astronaut가 아닌 다른 단어가 쓰였어요.
Yeah.
What is this word?
Yeah, they refer to him as a cosmonaut, and a cosmonaut is a Russian astronaut.
Oh, okay. Russian astronaut를 이제 cosmonaut라고 하는군요. 자, 그다음에 cumulative time.
So when something is cumulative, we're talking about the total number of something. So cumulative time means total number of time or the total amount of time. And it's when you add all the different times together. We mentioned that this astronaut went to space on 5 different occasions. So the total number of time that he spent there were added together, and it came out to 1,111 days.
누적 시간, cumulative time. 다시 헤드라인 제가 읽어보겠습니다. A Russian cosmonaut has set a new world record for the longest cumulative time any person has spent in space, passing the 3-year mark with a total of 1,111 days across 5 trips. And that's it for today's headlines.
The tally of newborns in Korea in July topped 20,000 for the first time in 6 months, while the on-year jump reached a 17-year high, according to Statistics Korea.
지난 7월 우리나라 출생아 수가 6개월 만에 2만 명대를 회복했으며 전년 동월 대비 증가율은 17년 만에 최고치를 기록했습니다. So we're looking at the month of July. Tell us more.
Well, so according to Stats Korea on Wednesday, 20,601 babies were born in July, and that is a 7.9% increase from a year earlier. So the headline mentions it topped 20,000, so you can guess if there were 20,601 babies born, topped means to exceed that number. And a few other things here that were interesting. The monthly tally for newborns actually has been under 20,000 since January. So that's increased. And it was also the largest year-over-year increase for any July since 2012. Now, why? What might have been one of the reasons for this growth? They're saying that more couples held weddings in the second half of 2022 through to the first half of 2023. Many weddings were delayed during the early parts of the pandemic, and weddings definitely have a correlation. Marriages have a correlation with births.
Yep, absolutely. 그래요. 혼인 건수도 늘고 출생아 수도 이제 증가하고 있는 추세입니다. 아무래도 두 개는 이제 불가분의 그런 관계라고 볼 수 있겠죠. 7월 기준이에요. 그래서 7월 출생아 수를 이제 작년에 비해서 또 그 전해에 비해서 쭉 얼마나 증가했는지 퍼센티지를 보게 되면은 지금 2007년 이후 한 17년 만에 가장 큰 증가율, 거의 8% 증가율을 보였다라고 합니다. 각각의 달, 1월부터 해서 올해 얼마나 아이들이 많이 태어났느냐, 그 절대적인 숫자를 보게 되면은 2만 명대를 이번에 이제 처음으로 기록했는데요. 그동안에는 2만 명이 좀 안 됐다라는 얘기죠. So the number of babies born every month this year was under 20,000?
Since January.
Since January.
Yeah, so January was over. January was 21,000 plus. But then, then from February.
1월 달에는 2만 1,000명의 아기가 태어났지만 그 다음부터는 2만 명 아래였다가 7월 달엔 다시 또 2만 명 이상이 됐다고 합니다. 자, 이런 누적된 기록을 영어로는 tally라고 합니다.
In this case, it means the total number. So we could have replaced that. We could have said the number of newborns or the
Yeah.
total number of newborns.
맞아요. 누적된 숫자예요. 그래서 그냥 number, 숫자 이렇게 해석해도 되고 그 단어로 대체할 수도 있어요. The number of newborns in Korea 이렇게 해도 무관합니다. 그렇지만 tally라는 단어, T-A-L-L-Y 하나하나 이렇게 세 가지고 기록을 하는 거죠. In English, we have the sort of 4 sticks and then the diagonal stick
Right.
for every 5.
We would call that keeping a tally.
Keeping a tally. In Korea, we use the 발을 정자. which is
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
seen
Korean
that.
Chinese character, but it has 5 strokes.
Right.
So, for every 5, you use that in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually more familiar with using the Western.
Okay. I forget
type.
what that's called. There's a name for that
Yeah,
count
yeah.
of system too. I forget what it's called.
맞아요. 이렇게 5명마다 우리가 숫자 셀 때 발을 정자 한국에서 쓰지만 영어식으로는 이렇게 세로로 된 짝대기 4개, 그 다음에 대각선으로 하나. 이렇게 해서 5개마다 세거든요. tally하는 방식이 좀 다르죠. 자, 그 다음에는 top라는 동사. You mentioned it earlier on.
Right. As I
Yeah.
mentioned, it means when you see that, if it tops a number, it means it's more than that number. And probably not by too much.
Yeah. 살짝 넘는다라는 뜻으로 top, T-O-P를 동사로도 씁니다. Here's the headline again. The tally of newborns in Korea in July topped 20,000 for the first time in 6 months, while the on-year jump reached a 17-year high, according to Statistics Korea. Let's move on to the next headline.
The number of Koreans relocating within the country last month dropped to its lowest level in nearly 50 years, with population aging cited as a key factor behind the decline.
지난달 국내 인구 이동수가 약 50년 만에 최저치로 떨어진 가운데 인구 고령화가 이번 감소의 주요 원인으로 꼽혔습니다. And when we talk about relocating in this sense, we're not talking about moving from my apartment to the next door. So it's not a close relocation. It's
I don't
relatively far away.
think so. The article sort of a little bit misleading, to be honest. So relocating, as you mentioned, it means moving from one place to another, moving from one location to another. But usually we use it to mean you've moved to a different city.
Yeah.
If a sports team relocates, it moves to a different city. Or if a company's headquarters relocates, they might even relocate to another country.
Yeah, in this case, we're talking about within Korea.
Within Korea, right.
And the definition is it has to be a further location than 읍, 면, and 동. So if you live in, let's say, 상암동, if you move within 상암동, you aren't considered a person that's relocated. But if you go from, let's say, 상암동 to what other dong is there? Off the top of my head, I can't think of too many. But,
Okay.
a different dong.
Okay,
Then,
like a whole different area of
a
the
different
city.
area, yes.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm not sure
All-
in English
all
if we
further.
would really classify that as relocating,
It's
to
a
be
bit
honest.
different, yeah,
Right, because
yeah.
if you just moved from one part of New York to another part of New York, unless it's really far, I don't know if we would really consider that being relocating.
네, 일단은 이 정의부터 좀 지금 말씀을 드렸어요. 그래서 여기서 말하는 이동 인구수는 읍, 면, 동 경계를 넘어서 거주지를 옮긴 경우입니다. So tell us more.
Well, so around 511,000 people changed residences in August. That's down 5.1% from a year earlier. It also marked the smallest figure for any August since 1976. And now by region, Seoul saw a net outflow of nearly 4,000 people, 3,848 people to be exact in August, while Gyeonggi province and Incheon posted net inflows, the largest inflow being into Gyeonggi province. 6,234 people moved to Gyeonggi and 1,785 people moved to Incheon.
I guess it's safe to assume that a lot of the people that moved out of Seoul probably moved into Gyeonggi and Incheon.
Yes, I would say.
Yeah, because people do still work in Seoul, but housing prices and just everything is so expensive.
Yep,
you might want to move
exactly.
out a little bit. So we went over the term, but let's have a look at it again. To relocate.
So that's to move, like the definition, the
Yeah.
dictionary definition just says to move from one place to another.
Sure.
But how it's used, if you talk about like a company relocating, they'll usually mention something how the employees will probably have to move.
Yeah.
They'll also have to relocate. They'll have to
Yes.
move to that different city. And we use it a lot in sports actually. Teams,
how?
because if a team is having financial problems or they're not selling enough tickets in that market, they'll move to a different city.
Oh,
And
really?
it happens a lot in hockey, actually. They'll move to a completely different state. So that just happened. A team just moved out of Arizona to Utah. They're relocating this season.
I didn't know that. Relocating이라는 게요. 이 단어 안에 locate가 있죠. location 할 때 그 단어인데 장소를 옮기다. relocate. 자, 그런데 아무 장소를 옮길 때 쓰는 건 아닙니다. 우리가 지금 이 테이블에서 저 테이블로 갈 때는 쓰지 않아요. 예, 가까운 거리보다는 조금 먼 거리를 옮길 때 쓰는 것이기 때문에 조금 전에 얘기했던 회사가 이전을 했을 때 내가 전혀 다른 지역으로 발령이 나거나 다른 곳으로 이사를 갔을 때 다른 나라로 갔을 때 그럴 때도 이제 쓰는 겁니다. 좀 원거리라고 볼 수 있겠고요. moving이라고 하면 그냥 이사죠. 우리 그냥 이제 I'm moving next week. 다음 주에 이사해. 이거랑은 또 좀 다릅니다.
Right? Relocation seems bigger.
Yeah, yeah.
And it seems like you're really changing your life.
Yeah, exactly. relocate 있었고요. 그 다음에는 key factor.
Key factor would be one of the main reasons. If you say the key factor, then it's the main reason. In this case, it says one of the key factors. So it would be one of the main reasons.
Right. Key meaning important. 주요한 요인, key factor. 다시 한번 제가 headline 읽어보겠습니다. The number of Koreans relocating within the country last month dropped to its lowest level in nearly 50 years, with population aging cited as a key factor behind the decline.
The Asian Development Bank has maintained its growth forecast for South Korea at 2.5% this year, aligning with the most recent projections from the International Monetary Fund and the Korea Development Institute.
아시아개발은행 ADB가 올해 우리나라 경제 성장률 전망치를 2.5%로 유지하면서 국제통화기금 IMF 그리고 한국개발연구원의 전망치와 같은 수치를 나타냈습니다. Tell us more.
Well, the Asian Development Bank kept its outlook for 2023 for the Korean economy at 2.5%. And this is in line with projections from the IMF as well as the Korea Development Institute, as we mentioned here in the headline. Yeah. And that 2.5 actually exceeds what the Bank of Korea is projecting. They're projecting 2.4% growth. And some other stats here, the ADB decided to keep its growth outlook for South Korea for next year the same as well at 2.3. So they're expecting a slightly less growth next year. And for inflation, they kept their forecast unchanged, 2.5% for this year and 2% for next year.
아시아개발은행, Asia Development Bank, ADB의 전망치를 보니까요. 올해는 2.5% 성장. 내년에는 2.3% 성장, 그리고 물가 상승률도 2.5% 이렇게 전망치를 내놨습니다. 일단 올해의 전망치 같은 경우에는요. 헤드라인에서도 언급했듯이 IMF와 한국개발연구원과 똑같은 전망치예요. 그렇지만 한국은행의 전망치보다는 높습니다. 한국은행 Bank of Korea는 2.4%를 이제 내다보고 있습니다.
And the ADB did cite strong demand for Korean semiconductors and automobiles as one of their reasons for keeping it at 2.5.
Semiconductors or chips, 반도체, 그다음에 automobiles, 자동차, 이런 이제 반도체와 자동차의 수출 증가세가 지금 계속 보이기 때문에 그래서 전망치를 낮추지 않고 2.5% 경제 성장률 전망치를 유지했답니다. Earlier on you said this is in line with some other projections.
Right. Means it matches. It's the same.
Yeah.
Align with, be in line with.
그래요. 이게 다 비슷한 표현인데 align with, A-L-I-G-N, 그 다음에 in line with, in 띄고, line 띄고, with 이렇게 다 쓸 수 있습니다. 뭐냐면은 무엇과 맞추다. 이건 전망치를 말하죠. 전망치가 IMF랑 똑같아요. KDI랑도 똑같아요. So it's in line with. 그것과 발맞추어 일부러 똑같이 한 건 아니겠지만 같습니다. And a projection?
Projections, forecast, an estimate, predictions, educated guesses about the future. If we did, for weather, we'll usually just say a weather forecast. But it's the same thing. The weather meteorologist, they're predicting what the weather will be a few days out.
예상, 예측. 영어로는 projection이라고도 하고요. 날씨 같은 경우에는 우리 일기예보할 때 weather forecast라는 단어를 거의 항상 쓰지만 그 외에는 전망치 예측할 때는 projection이라는 단어, forecast, what are the words? estimate,
Predictions.
맞아요. 이런 단어들이 있습니다. Well, here's the headline again. The Asian Development Bank has maintained its growth forecast for South Korea at 2.5% for this year, aligning with the most recent projections from the International Monetary Fund and the Korea Development Institute. Let's move on to the next headline.
The U.S. has sued Visa, accusing one of the world's largest payment networks of antitrust violations that affect the price of nearly everything.
미국 법무부가 세계 최대 금융 결제 회사 중 하나인 비자를 반독점법 위반 혐의로 고소하면서 거의 모든 곳의 가격에 영향을 미치는 불법 행위를 저질렀다고 지적했습니다. Well, I know a lot of people in Korea use Visa cards, so
Yep.
what's going on?
Well, the U.S. Justice Department, they filed a lawsuit in federal court in New York on Tuesday, accusing Visa of illegally monopolizing the debit card market. They say for more than a decade, Visa has abused its dominant position in the debit card market to force businesses, merchants, you'll also hear that, vendors, you'll hear those phrases, to use Visa's network instead of competitors, and also to stop new alternatives from entering the market. Visa, not surprisingly, they described the complaint as meritless, and they vowed to vigorously defend itself. However, this did not stop its shares from falling almost 5% after reports of the lawsuit came to light.
그래요. 일단은 데빗 카드라는 거는 직불 카드입니다. 데빗 카드가 있고 크레딧 카드가 있어요. 우리 신용카드는 크레딧 카드, 직불 카드는 데빗 카드라고 하는데 자, 미국에서 이 직불 카드를 쓸 수 있도록 각종 가맹점에서 할 거 아니에요. 그런데 이제 비자 카드 외에 다른 데빗 카드를 쓰게 하는 가맹점에 대해서 비자가 불이익을 줬답니다. 그 다음에는 또 경쟁사에게 돈을 주면서 시장 진입을 못하도록 했답니다. 그래서 이게 반독점 위반 혐의로 고소가 됐다. 한마디로 독점을 했다는 거죠. Alright, so accusing someone of doing something.
That's when you say someone did something wrong or illegal. You haven't proven it yet,
Yeah.
but you're saying they did it.
자, accuse someone of something. 누군가에게 너 이거 했지라고 하면서 혐의를 제기하는 겁니다. You could allege someone of doing something. Same
Accuse
thing.
has it's a little more formal. Like
Yeah.
you would you can make allegations, which would be the same as an accusation.
Yeah, but also in casual speech as well. You say, "Are you accusing me of
Sure.
taking your drink?"
Right, exactly. What are you accusing me of?
왜 내가 했을 거라고 생각해? 나 탓하는 거야? 이런 의미로 그냥 일상 대화에서도 accuse를 많이 쓰는데요. 비난하다의 의미로 그러니까 좀 폭넓게 쓰이기도 하는 단어입니다. 근데 여기서는 그런 혐의가 제기가 됐다라는 뜻이고요. 그 다음에는 affect.
That's to influence something or to impact, have an effect on something or someone. You can also affect a person as well. You can affect someone's mood, for example.
That's right. Not to be confused with effect, which is a noun.
Right.
자, 동사인 affect, affect는 영향을 미치다. 그리고 명사인 effect, effect는 효과. 두 개가 좀 헷갈릴 수 있죠. 여기서는 동사 영향을 미치다입니다. Here's the headline again. The US has sued Visa, accusing one of the world's largest payment networks of antitrust violations that affect the price of nearly everything. Now here's our final headline.
A once-in-a-lifetime comet is making its return to Earth after being last observed by early humans who migrated out of Africa approximately 80,000 years ago.
아프리카에서 이주한 초기 인류가 약 8만 년 전에 마지막으로 관측했던 혜성이 현재 지구 쪽으로 다시 접근하고 있는 것으로 알려졌습니다. 그러니까요, 여러분, 이 코메트, 혜성이 8만 년 만에 지구를 다시 찾는 겁니다. It really is a once-in-a-lifetime comet.
Yeah, the comet, it's known, the name of it is C/2023A3.
Okay.
That's the name they've given it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
apparently it will look like a fuzzy star with a misty tail. And apparently it should be viewable just before dawn on 4 consecutive mornings from Friday to Monday.
네.
And this was only just discovered early last year.
이게 27일부터 30일 사이에 관측이 될 수 있을 거라고 하는데요. 이제 지금 지구 어디에 있느냐에 따라 조금 다르게 관측이 되겠지만 우리나라에서는 만약에 이 혜성이 지금 현재 궤도대로 간다면은 이번 주말보다는 10월 13일에서 18일 사이에 다시 보일 수 있다고 하거든요. 그때 보일지도 모른다. 이런 관측이 되겠습니다. 근데 아주 크지는 않으니까 it's just a speck, it's a fuzzy dot. I
Sure.
suppose. It's not going to be very big
If you
or
have a
anything.
telescope, you'll be able to see it better, apparently.
Yeah.
Because that's what one of the articles I read, the astronauts in the International Space Station have seen it.
Oh, interesting. But can you see it with the naked eye?
Apparently, but I don't
okay.
know if you'll be able to see it as well. But they're saying you should be able to.
Okay, 그래요. 그냥 육안으로도 with the naked eye 보이기는 보일 거라고 합니다. 자, 이렇게 8만 년 만에 돌아온 혜성인데요. We'll be able to observe this.
We'll be able to see it. If you observe something, you see it or you notice it. If you make an observation, you say something that you've seen.
Yeah. Observation은 관측이죠. 그래서 observe는 관측하다, 보다라는 뜻이 되겠고 migrate out of somewhere.
You move out of somewhere. So we just learned in the first story that
Right.
many people are migrating out of Seoul into other areas. I'm not sure how they know that people 80,000 years ago saw this. This is a strange part of the...
Maybe they left it on their social media.
Yeah, I found that. I don't know how we know that, but okay. I'll...
It's just a guess. It's an estimate, isn't it?
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We don't know for sure. 물론 8만 년 전에 진짜 확실히 이 혜성을 봤는지 안 봤는지 어떻게 아느냐라고 지금 레이 선생님이 반문을 제기했는데 그렇게 추정이 되고 있습니다. 그리고 또 정말 오랜만에 다시 지구를 찾은 그런 혜성이래요. 근데 언제 마지막으로 보게 됐었느냐? 아프리카에서 초기 인류가 그 이주하면서 봤을 것이다. 그래서 이주하다, migrate. out of는 어디에서 나와서. migrate out of Africa. 이렇게 표현을 하고 있습니다. 자, 그러면 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. A once-in-a-lifetime comet is making its return to Earth after being last observed by early humans who migrated out of Africa approximately 80,000 years ago. And that's it for our headlines.